Hi, Pulkit. Welcome. It's lovely to have you on board with us for this chat. That we are going to talk about Facebook marketing and digital marketing in general. So it would be nice to begin the chat with a quick introduction from your side, if that will be. I think that will be a good idea, considering that you've done a lot of things in your past and you continue to do so. So if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, hello Kenna. Thanks for having me. My name is Pulkit Dubey. I'm the co-founder and director of ProHead. ProHead is a performance marketing agency, and here we serve clients across industries. And one of the key things which makes this webinar very interesting to me is one of our key clients and the key driven for business model for us is education clients and online courses. So we work with clients like Pearson, with them on their classes and help them scale up their online courses. So I'm also a certified Facebook Blueprint trainer. So this is all that just comes along. And thank you so much for inviting me here to speak to all of you.
Thanks for the introduction, Pulkit. I think it'll be a great idea if you could also talk a little bit about the large clients that you've been working with, and maybe not naming them or naming them. I mean, up to you. If you could take and give some examples, that would be fantastic. If you could talk about the kind of work that you've done with these clients, what the scope has involved.
Yes. So for me, one of the biggest thing that was the motivation for me to actually come into performance marketing was helping businesses actually scale up their online revenue. So we have clients which are very small, like who have just started up, where we are trying to help them with entire strategy to how they can actually get into the space and start doing their marketing, start getting their first set of orders. There are certain clients who have got the investment, like we're working with closely with Nourish and helping them grow and get some clients and get people to make their courses online. And we're also working with some more invested startups where we are focusing on hyper growth. Like we take them from 100 orders to 1,000 orders to 100, like 10,000 orders within 3 months or 6 month period based on the company that we're dealing with. So the entire plethora of clients, we are also working with some things like Fortune 500 companies like Pearson, where we are trying to help them with their businesses across India, Middle East, the UK, and Australia. And we're also working with certain agricultural companies. So the main focus for us is to help clients move from ad spends to return on ad spends. That's the main philosophy where people start making more money online, and that's how we also grow. So we work very closely with all of our clients in that way. And if you are from, say, Delhi NCR, you might have seen some of our clients like Biryani Blues, where they run a lot of ads. So from F&B to education to agriculture to real estate, we have also worked with like Tromtas. So all of these industries we have touched upon in our last 3 years of journey in ProHead. Apart from that, before this, I was working as a product marketing manager at ABC Consultants, and I graduated from VIT University. So this is the journey that I have been in.
Excellent. Now, the first thing that I would like to ask you, considering your vast experience in Facebook, I'm a big fan of the ad platform that Facebook has built. Would you be able to throw some numbers or highlights on the real potential that it holds? Now, I am coming from the point of view, I have seen some people on our Nourish platform go from just a few users in the first week to, let's say, getting to about 1,000 paying customers in just under a month. Would you like to add something there, something that another number or another metric that would show people listening to this event today what is the real potential we are talking about?
Yes. So one of the key number that Facebook actually always focus on is the number of active users that Facebook has. So Facebook has the highest number of active users across all social media. That's around close to 2.4 billion active users every month. But one more key insight that makes Facebook as an amazing platform for everybody who are creators is that on an average, a person who is using Facebook or Instagram or entire Facebook family of apps, they click on ads at least 11 to 12 times in a month. So the chances of you engaging with new people, new perspectives on Facebook is really high. And now Facebook has also started integration with WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is another very big thing in India specifically. So now your engagement and your scalability is immense, with more than 1 billion active users adding from WhatsApp as well.
Thank you. Thanks for mentioning that, Pulkit. My next question to you is about how does one target the right audience and improve the number of leads coming from Facebook? Because there are so many ways. What do they start with? What are the first steps? Let's begin with step number one.
Yes. So every time when a customer or when anybody comes in and say that they want to start doing Facebook marketing, specifically for our target audience who are actually creating their own course. So the first question that they have to answer is exactly the same that they have to make when they're actually creating a course, is defining their target audience. So whatever you know about your customer, majorly we define it into 4 things. One is their need, what exactly they need. For example, if it is a marketing course, so their need might be that they want to learn marketing, right? Then the second thing that they have to define is the demographic. So in demographic, it comes in age, gender, and geography, right? And the third thing, which is very important and which is very exclusive with Facebook itself, is psychographics. So what all other things that they might be interested in. So people who are interested in marketing, they might be doing, say, they might be researching about an online course from Upgrad. They might be searching a blog like Neil Patel. So these are all the interest and other factors that you might understand about them, all these psychographics. And the fourth important stuff that you have to figure out is the motivation. So for defining your target audience, if you know their need, the demographic, their psychographics, then you just have to relate it with the motivation. For example, I might be looking forward to do an online course on marketing because I want to step up in my career. Or if I'm an entrepreneur and I have created my course and I might be looking for this webinar because I want to sell my course even more, like to thousands of people. So that's the motivation. So how you relate to that motivation is the key. So defining your target audience is always the first step in understanding Facebook marketing in a better way. And if you are actually going forward and creating Facebook ads, the second important thing that you should understand is the customer journey. So it traditionally, when we actually go ahead and think about customer journey, we generally think about that, okay, we see these hoardings while we are moving across, and we see that, okay, I've seen that, okay, there's a restaurant here in, there's a McDonald's that I can just go in drive through. So first time when you see those hoardings, that's awareness. You're just aware that, okay, this is something which exists. Similarly, that goes in Facebook as well. You show some ads, majorly a video creative generally here, where you tell about, like, for example, here I'm just taking an example of a marketing course because so that it's more relatable. So I create a video, a 30-second introduction video to talk about why this course is good for you, why you should be here, and show it to as many people as possible. So that's awareness. So say I have shown my ad to 100 people. Out of 100, there are 50 people who might have seen more than 15 seconds of my ad. So out of these 50 people, I want to make sure that I want to show them something else, at my price of my course, why they should actually consider it today. We can even show him some discount that, okay, this offer is only valid for today, and other limiting time factors to get the purchase done. So we take people from awareness, consideration, and purchase. So that's the second step, understanding the customer journey. And the third most important step is measuring the success. So understanding how leads are actually flowing in once you have received them, from inquiries, which is suspect, to prospects, where they have spoken to you, they have said that they want to take your course, and then they come to opportunities that they are actually going ahead and purchasing it, then the final conversion that they have purchased the course. So these are the 3 major things that you should be ready with for your Facebook ads.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pulkit. So if I was to basically summarize, I think the key factor there, what we have also seen working wonders, is that somebody should be able to build the persona really well. If the persona is right, you've mapped the user journey, then you go on and create a right piece of content for them to put them into your funnel. Is that right? I mean, is there any other thing that they should really keep in mind while designing these 3 first steps?
Yeah, so as you have clearly pointed out, user personas are the key, is the key actually for keeping the right messaging in. And one more thing that should be very clear from the very beginning is Facebook ads is more about experimentation. So always think about 2 to 3 different ways in which you can talk to the same user persona. So that's also one thing which you should think about. So you start with user personas and think about how you want to talk to them.
So what you're essentially saying is that if I am doing, let's say, a course, and this course is on leadership, and I have two different personas. Let's say there are students from MBA institutions, engineering colleges that are going to be attending my course, as well as there are going to be leaders from corporations that are going to be taking this course. You're saying that I'll have to put or publish different kind of ads and content for these two user personas, or a singular content can be purpose that will work well? What is your advice on these?
Yes. So, like, this is a very good example here. So, if people who are actually pursuing leadership, who are young into their career, the content for them would be different. If you use a different content, then you will see how the impact can be maximized. So, if somebody who is just pursuing leadership and we tell them that, okay, in our leadership course, you will learn these things which will help you become a better leader in the future. So if the content is all about that, so if you're targeting a particular age group, which are say less than 30 years of age or less than 25 years of age, who are interested in leadership, and make something which is more aspirational, they will be more happy to actually engage with your ad, and the chances of conversion would be higher. But as soon as you want to reach out to people who are already into leadership positions, who are already people who are into senior management or head honchos of their companies, then you have to focus on how they can be more productive and be perceived as a leader in their current role. So how to make sure that everybody respects you, or how to get more work done from your employees. So the messaging, if it is played around in that way, how to be a leader for your own team or something like that, you might have better conversion from those users. So if we segment different messaging for these users, the overall, you can say, the possibility of results and conversions would be much higher.
So would you suggest we plan segmenting these users in our first experiment, considering a lot of people watching this and a lot of content creators on our platform also come as first time Facebook advertisers? They've never done it before. So would you recommend that they build multiple personas, or they could just go with one singular persona and just fire away to begin with? What's a better way to do it?
So if you have a budget constraint, right, when you're actually starting it for the first time, and you are saying that you might be starting with a limited budget because this might be your first course, you're not sure how much you want to invest in it, then you can start with, okay, you can see that, okay, whichever is your biggest audience and your course focus on, like, for example, if your course is focused on aspirational level of leaders, like you want to reach out to younger audience, then just focus on one audience, create one ad on that, start that. And as soon as you start getting the results, as soon as you start getting the leads, you will understand which leads are actually converting, which leads are actually speaking highly about that particular topic with you. Then you will understand them even better. So if you're limited by budget, I'll say start with the audience persona where you see the maximum potential. So that's the call that you'll have to take then.
So I've got a question here that I'm showing on screen. This is by Out the Box Life, and Harish, who runs this academy. This is a brilliant operation. He's an accomplished filmmaker and also a creator on the platform. He's asking how much would be an ideal budget to market to start with, for marketing a course. What's the number that you would like to suggest to begin with? And as I mentioned, consider that some of the people starting out would also be first timers. So would you suggest a differential budget for somebody who's just starting out, and somebody who's experimented with it maybe could start with a higher one? But what's the starting point that you'll talk about?
Yes. So if you're someone who is just starting out, who might not have a very big budget to actually burn a lot of money, you can start with as small budget as say 700 to 800 rupees a day. And if you want to be really, really sure, you can even start with 500 rupees a day. And you can run a lead generation campaign directly and try and get some leads and people to talk to understand even better about your target audience. But if you are somebody who runs a business or who has an enterprise and who are going towards online courses, then you will have an expectation that you want to sell, say, 1,000 courses in a month, right? So as soon as you have those expectations, so you try and create that, okay, now you have, say, 10,000 courses that you sell offline. So you want to now bring into, say, 20,000 or 30,000 directly online. So figure based on that, we create a media plan, and we say that, okay, now we want to reach out to 10,000 users in 1 month. Then the test budget is decided that, okay, let's start with 20% of that budget. And that can be decided based on few things that you can keep in mind. So if your course is priced at, say, 1,000 rupees, and you know that you can spend up to 500 rupees per conversion, right? Based on your profit metrics. That is something which will be different for each business. And that way you can consider that, okay, for getting 1,000 conversions or 10,000 conversions, this is the budget that you need. And out of that entire budget, we recommend that you start with a small experiment with a budget of say 25% to 30%, where you focus on getting as many leads. So all of it would be planned. So if, for example, you get 100 leads, out of those 100 leads, you will have say a 5% conversion for your course or a 10% conversion of your course. So you will be able to sell 10 courses. So if you're able to sell 10 courses, then you know that if you have sold one course for 1,000, so you will be making 10,000 rupees. So for 100 leads, you can invest maximum 5,000. So that way you can actually do the back calculations. But I will recommend, if you are a bigger business who has a much bigger or a larger goal in perspective, start with segmenting more audiences and start with a budget which is say 3,000 to 5,000 rupees a day in the beginning for the first week, and then scale it up based on whichever segments are performing. And this budget can be like per segment as well, based on the stature and the big and your target audience.
So I would like to get into some micros here. I have personally felt with working with my team that one of the biggest challenges is basically to be able to create a good ad. So if you could break that down into individual steps and talk about how should we create a good ad, and also highlight on sizes that people have to keep in mind, considering there could be different devices people watch them from, and the formats. So in your opinion, what works better, image or video? So please break it down step by step. How do we create a brilliant ad?
Yes. So I'll actually break it down into two steps, two major things that we should actually think about. One is your target audience. You understand, okay, this is the audience that you want to reach out to. But now, as soon as you have done that, the first step, and you know, okay, this is the budget that you want to go with, always for awareness or consideration, videos is something which works well because you're able to communicate a better message in a better format. So ideally in a video, we recommend that you should have at least a 15-second video, or maximum you can even go for 30 seconds. If we have something where we want to talk about, say it's a trailer for a movie or something like that, then it can be even bigger. But for general purposes, let's start with like a 15-second to a 30-second video. Now there are 4 things that you should always think about when you're actually creating the content for a video. Number 1 is capturing the attention. That is something which we say that, okay, you should clearly make your brand stand out and quickly tell the person that what you want to tell them on this video, right? So first thing first is capturing the attention. Second thing is length and message. The video should be ideally less than 15 seconds long, or maximum should go by 30 seconds. And the main message and the logo should appear within the first 3 seconds of your video. So that way a person, if you might have skipped it, still they'll see your logo and they might remember your brand and might search you on Google, and you might get a conversion later on from them. The third thing is design your videos for sound offs. So you might have also seen that you might be browsing through Facebook, you might be browsing through Instagram, but by default, you might not be you might have your devices on sound off. So always make sure that
don't put the sound in. Like a lot of people like to put music, voice, animation, background. So you're saying put none of that. I mean, just imagine that people would watch it without sound. Is that what you're saying?
So I'm saying you should have, say, music or the narration on your video, but you have to design for sound off. It means that even if you have those narrations or like music in your video, always make sure there is some helpful text that is going on to explain why this video is important for you.
Okay. I get it. So, I've seen those sub tickers and messages on like subtitles on the screen. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and that's that. If you design for sound off, like this line, what we say in Facebook is design for sound off and delight with sound on. So if somebody is seeing with sound off, they should be very curious. Okay, this is something which is interesting, and as soon as they switch on the sound, they love it. So, but don't rely on the sound to convey your message. So that's the point. So that's where the main idea comes in, and you can use animated text and key ideas or caption on your video to achieve it. And most important feature that you should focus on your video is you should build it for mobile. So generally, one of the biggest pitfalls that a lot of people face when they are actually marketing on Facebook is they create their videos on a landscape zone, which is say using for YouTube majorly, right? But mostly your phones are not, like when you have a video which is landscape, it's very difficult for you to see it in your portrait mode. So by default, if you can actually make your videos in a square format or vertical, those are the things which will give you higher engagement. So always design and build your videos for mobile. And if you cannot build a lot of options, you just think about two things. You can start all your videos with square. If that's a possibility, you can crop all your videos for square. And the second thing that you can do is you can even make a vertical video, which is like directly recording in a selfie mode if you have less equipment, and you will be amazed by the results that can come in with those.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for that, Pulkit. I have a question from a user on our platform. This is Mohan, who's asking, what is a funnel and how can he create one for his academy that runs yoga courses?
All right. So this is a very good question. And funnel is something which is the basis of all marketing, wherever you go and wherever you do it. And funnel has majorly three stages. The first stage is awareness, where we want to show our ads to people so that they start seeing us, that they know that, okay, for example, for yoga, the first thing could be what course you offer, why, which yoga this is. Say it's a Hatha yoga or whichever yoga courses you might have. You tell people that you have a yoga course, and you tell that this is by a particular instructor, whatever USPs you might have. Second thing is you want people to engage. So people who are now seeing your ad, they're engaging with it. You want them to take an action with your brand. So that action could be leads. That action could be they have seen your video. So you start some campaigns which is consideration phase. So people who have seen your ads at the first stage, they go to the second level, which is consideration. So they now have considered your page. They might have visited your website. They might have visited your Facebook page or Instagram page to just have checked out more. Okay, what is it that you do? And you try and capture them even there. The third step, which is most important, is conversion. Conversion is where you get the money out of the user, money out of the customer. So here what you do is everybody who have considered you. So consideration could be people who have seen your videos, people who have visited your website, people who might have engaged with you on Facebook or Instagram. And people who have engaged with you, you show them a particular messaging about prices, at what price you sell this course, and what are the exciting ways in which they can, how easy it is for them to go ahead and sign up for it. So making it very easy for a person to understand and go ahead and make a purchase. For bottom funnel, for all these three stages, the messaging slightly changes. So in the beginning, you might just be talking about the ways in which the USPs of your courses. In the consideration phase, you might be talking about different ways. Like you can even have a webinar, a live webinar where you come in and talk about, do say 100 Surya Namaskar on World Yoga Day, where you are just doing it for free and you invite people in. So that could be a one way to actually interact in a consideration phase, right? And then the conversion phase is once people have interacted with you, how you can make sure that they convert. So in consideration phase, in Facebook, you can run remarketing campaign, re-engagement campaign, and you can also pull in your emails, SMS, and phone calls to convert the user from there.
No, that's really helpful. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just sharing a screen, which you'll just see now, and this is basically an example of what you just spoke about. What do you think about this? Any comments on this? I mean, this looks like what you just said, but if you could highlight more on this.
Yes. So awareness. So basically here we have broken it down into 5 steps. One is awareness, when people are just seeing about you for the first time. Then people have started showing interest. So interest is here, which is considered that, okay, they might have seen your video, they might have checked out your Facebook profile, and then they have shown desire. So desire is something which is a bigger action. So they might have gone to your website and have checked out a lot of things, right? And then comes an action. So they have taken an action in terms of they might have filled a form, they might have filled a form on Facebook, they might have filled a form on your website, and now you have that information. But the fourth step comes in is retargeting. So if a person has taken an action where they have purchased by default, so out of 100 people who might have filled the form, 5 people might have purchased right away, but other 95 people might still have not purchased, and you want to reach out to them. So that's where the retargeting steps comes in. So that's where you can actually reach out to the users again. If you want, I can also show you in terms of how Facebook defines it. I can actually share my screen with you. Wait. Because this is something which you can actually see it in Ads Manager in a much easier way with related to Facebook advertising. Let me just open it and show it to you.
Great. In the meanwhile, I have another user who's asked a question. Hiren here is asking, what are video sales letter used for? Or, I mean, are they a good tool? What are the key aspects he has to keep in mind in case you consider and recommend them? What are the things he has to keep in mind while he looks at them?
Okay, I'll just come to that question. So basically, this is how this funnel is decided. Can you see my screen?
Wait, let me. Yes, we can see your screen now. Let me just. Oh no, wait. I'm just playing with the. Give me a sec. Yeah, I think this would work. Yes, Pulkit. So we can see your screen now.
Yeah. So basically, Facebook defines the marketing funnel in 3 stages. There are 3 things that are important in the sales funnel. One is awareness, consideration, and conversion. In awareness, you have 2 objectives that you can reach out to users for. One is brand awareness, where you can increase awareness of your brand by showing ads multiple times to the users. Here, you can even control the frequency that every week you want to show your ads at least 2 to 3 times per user. Then there is reach, where, for example, if you have a course where you are just trying to reach out to a vicinity of people, like in like 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, so you want to make sure that you reach out to all the unique people as much as possible, then you can go for an objective like reach. The second step in Facebook consideration funnel is consideration, where you have a lot more objectives. One is traffic. You want to send them to your website so that they understand a lot more things about you. So video sales, I think the question that you had, I think one question that we received was about video sales letter, right?
So I'll just bring us on the screen, and this is the question.
So video, wait, I'm just looking. Okay, are video sales letter good, and what are the key aspects of designing a video sales letter? So to be honest, video sales letter is something which works a lot for if you want to create some entire video funnels. Like for example, you have one video where you say that, okay, this is something that I'm selling, and there's a second video. So this is something which a lot of people are generally doing, which are individual people who are trying to create courses, and they create multiple videos based on different journeys of the users. And if I'm right, you can also check about it. So here the main things that I've seen is this works for people who have a particular course, just one course. Then you can actually sell it in different ways with a video sales letter, where you design it in different messaging for across the funnel. Where our first funnel is, as soon as the person lands to your website, you have a video playing on the top, and you convert and you tell them why you should actually go ahead and purchase the course. And as soon as a person has visited your page, you again show him a different ad that you might be watching something now, and why you should actually consider my course. So this is a very good journey that you can create, and you can persuade your audience in a better way. But this is recommended. This is something that you can definitely try it out. But here, if you want to think about what are the key aspects of designing, I can actually share some links after this webinar, where there's a complete guide in terms of things that you should consider for your video sales letter. Some things like, what are the key pixel settings that you should do on your different pages? What are the different ways in which you can retarget the users? There are specific ways where you can actually reach it. One of the things, if you want to go ahead and read about, is there is a video sequencing campaigns that you can run through reach and frequency auction type on Facebook. If you just go about it, and you will be able to read more about how a lot of campaigns can be structured around.
Sorry, what is it called? If you could repeat that again, Pulkit.
Video sequencing campaigns that you can do.
Video sequencing campaign. So yes, if you highlight more on, is video a better, and I think this is a singular question. So in your opinion, I want an answer probably in a yes or no, and I know what it's going to be. Is video better, image better, or it depends on the audience? What is your opinion?
So it's a very complicated question. It's a very simple question though, but the answer is a little complicated one. In one word, videos are generally better than images, because in videos you can actually, like, the main reason video sales letter work is because you can have a personal connect. You can have that emotional connect with the users when you're using videos, right? You can actually show yourself, or you can use images or animations to capture the attention.
But a lot of people are not that confident in front of the camera. So they are looking at expensive production. They are looking at creating animated videos. So if you could also highlight in that case, is it still good to use video letters or video ads, or would you recommend something else?
Yes. So, for example, if you're not that confident with actually say making a video or being in front of the people, right? There are a lot of other ways in which you can actually create a very small animated video directly from Facebook. Like there is a Facebook mobile studio where you can just use some animations to just show the main aspects of your brand to capture the attention. But one thing that we have seen has worked really well, and why the origin of video sales letter have actually come into picture as well, is people actually try to be as organic as possible. And when they see, you might have also seen a lot of videos where just people are walking and just talking about some stuff, and still they are getting thousands of engagement, because now, because of so much filters that people have been using, now they're bored of seeing a lot of filters. So whenever they see something organic where there is a little bit lack of, in say, production quality or something, like, they might engage even more. So if you are somebody who might not be 100% confident with the videos, I won't recommend that, okay, go ahead and make videos. I won't push for that. But if you're fairly confident, okay, I want to convey my messages, I'm very confident in the course that I've built, and in the course you might have talked about your code, like talk to the audience in a way. So if you use some snippets over there itself and try and reach out and talk to the audience in an organic way, even with like a simple approach where there's a webcam and you're just talking through a headphone, it can work well for you. But there's also one thing which you can utilize. Videos is something which works amazingly well for creating the intent for the user, why they should actually consider your course. There is another thing that you can use is single image ads, where you just focus that, okay, this is my course, this is what it costs, and now you have seen my videos, you have visited my website, now just go ahead and purchase it. Limited time offer. So those single image ads where there is something like you are not talking about anything else, which are very straight to the point, in bottom funnel, they also work really well. And at times they have even outperformed a lot of videos, because if you have used like 2 or 3 videos in creating the intent for the user, in the last phase, there's a possibility you might not even need to use a video. You can straight away use an image to the offer.
I have a question. I'm sorry. I'll have to ask it and interject here. You used a word bottom funnel. I mean, you just said bottom funnel.
Yes.
So I would now, I mean, like my request would be if you could decipher it more, just break down the type of funnel on Facebook format or the Facebook platform. How many types of funnels are there? Like, I think that's the first part of it. And then what are these?
Yes. So as we are here on this screen, right? So the thing that we see here, awareness. So we generally also call it as top funnel. So top funnel is majorly top of the mind awareness. So for example, here I'm in front of you, and if I want to just say, if I'm running an ad, so I can just show you, say, not this, just show you something. Yeah. So for example, this is the bottle that I want to show you. There is Facebook written in here. So I might be talking here. I have a logo of my brand, and like the video that you're seeing, you will see a Nourish logo on the right, top right? So all of those things are small steps where you want to build awareness. So at the top of the mind awareness where you're trying to build, where you're just trying to talk about all the USPs of your product and other things, that's top funnel. The second step, when you're trying to reach out to users for consideration purposes, that's where you're trying to reach out to users, say they visit your website, they understand more about your process, why this course is important for them. That is the stage which is, we call it as consideration, because they are now considering your brand. So consideration, the steps that comes in is video views. They might have seen your videos, they might have installed your app, they might have engaged with your Facebook post or Instagram post, or they might have filled a form on your website or on your Facebook page. So all of these stages comes into consideration. So consideration is something that we call it as middle funnel. So now a person has taken first steps towards your brand to make a purchase. So out of say 100 people who have made a step to purchase, not everybody goes ahead and purchases your product. So we have to run some campaigns which are focused on your end goal, which is a final purchase. That's where you have 3 things. One is conversion campaign, where you run campaigns specifically for your end goal, so that when a person has purchased, like they might have submitted a lead to you, but they have not purchased, so you can run a campaign only to users who have submitted a lead but have not converted, and get some conversions out of there and try and optimize for those results. There are 2 more steps to it, 2 more campaigns that you can do on Facebook. It is not very essential for you for people who have just created 1 course. But for example, if you're a university and you have say 5 courses, like for example, if I'm Udemy or I'm Nourish and I have like 5 courses that I've launched, right? So all of those 5 courses, you can make a catalog, and whichever course a person has seen. So for marketing, I have created, say, 5 courses. One is Facebook marketing, the other one is Google marketing, third one is, say, LinkedIn marketing. So if I want to show all 3 ads based on whichever users have seen first, because I feel that all 3 courses might be relevant for a marketer. So I can use a catalog sales objective. And the third one is store traffic. This is something which is might not be relevant for us here. It is something for majorly restaurants where we want to drive more footfall to our cafes for our restaurants. This is the objective that we can use. So this is the all 3 objective in the bottom is something that we consider under bottom funnel. So top funnel, middle
Great.
funnel, and
Thank
bottom funnel.
you. Thank you so much for deciphering that. For those who are watching this and people who want to know more, I have something to add here that we also plan to build a course with Pulkit and the team here, which would be an elaborate step-by-step online course that will be available on academy.nourish.com for no cost. And our effort there is that anybody who wants to kind of start selling using Facebook would be able to go through that course and learn the hacks that they can apply to be able to just start right away, and what are the steps they need to follow. So everything would be deciphered with all the tools, guides, help books, everything that you need to kind of get started. But for now, I think, Pulkit, I would like to take one more question here that has just come up on somebody watching on the Nourish screen. So Mahima Kaushik is asking here, how can I find out who's my exact target audience? I know this is an interesting question, but what's your take on this?
Yes. So for every audience, right, I'd like to actually show you something interesting here. So there is a tool that we call it as Audience Insights on Facebook. So for
Audience
every
Insights.
Audience
called
Insights, I'll
Okay.
actually just show you in my screen as well. So this is a very interesting question, because this is very important for everybody, every business to understand. Like, who is my audience? Who is the target audience that I should reach out to? So there is a tool that we call Facebook Audience Insights. So you should be like, if you just even Google Facebook Audience Insights, you would be able to find the link. So as soon as you reach there, you will actually find a screen something like this, where you can choose everyone on Facebook or people connected to your specific page. So you can select everyone on Facebook, and generally you know few things about your audience. So for example, you know where they reside, right? So I'll just build a very small audience here. So I know that people that I want to reach out are based out of India, right? This is a free tool that you all can access. So you don't have to worry about like you have to spend so much money here or do this or do that. This is something which is available free of cost if you are running ads on Facebook. So you put in the location, you put in the things that you know about your audience. So for example, you know that, I'll take the example of a yoga class. That the first question that we received, like one question earlier. So you know that people who might be thinking about doing yoga. So one audience that you might have is people who are above 25 years of age or up to 50 years of age or 40 years of age. So you can just put in whatever you think that, okay, people who are like 55 or 54 might be doing yoga. And you want to put in some interest that you know that they might have. So you can just type in, like, for example, they are interested in yoga. So they are interested in some other things as well. Like, for example, they might be, so if there are some, like, you want to reach out to, say, higher paying audience. So if a person is interested in yoga pants, they are purchasing, or yoga mats, for example. So they might be somebody who might purchase things related to yoga. So you can even put in some interest like this, right? So you just put in some interests which are important for you. And then this Facebook dashboard will show you few insights. One, what is the age and gender in the selected region, and how much audience is there on Facebook. So it will show you, say, 55% of audience of the entire selected region is here. It will show you the relation.
So yeah, basically we could actually even use this tool before we design a product or even think about building a course ourselves. I mean, we could look at how big is the audience or the market size even before we have kind of done the course. Is that right? Do I get it right?
Yes, and this is something which could be a very important thing for you to actually think about, okay, which topic I should choose for creating a course. Yeah. So you can see how big the audience is in India, for example. Here, 30 to 35 million. So
I have a question.
Yoga could be good.
I knew earlier that this could be done using Google Trends. or tools on Google. Now, I'm not asking you to pick your favorite, but if you had an option to use only one, which one would you go for first and why? Google or Facebook? I mean, which is a better tool for that market research?
Yes. So both has their both pros and cons. So I'll give you both one pros and one con for both
But I
Google
need you
Trends.
to choose one.
Yeah,
I
I'll
need you to
choose.
choose one.
Yes. So I generally choose Facebook because in Facebook you get more deeper analysis of the audience. So you get to understand their age, gender, their relationship in status, and which, like for example, people who are married, here you can see plus 47%. So they have a 47% higher intensity to actually engage with yoga. People who are postgraduate or who are more educated, they are actually using interest or engaging with yoga related pages more. You get to understand their lifestyle. So you get to have a bigger, deeper dive when you are actually doing it with Facebook audience insights. One more interesting feature about this that I love the most is you understand what are other things that they do. So what are other pages that they like. So this gives you more idea in terms of what kind of content language that you can use. So for example, here they engage with Heba's Kitchen or Hopscotch. They might be parents. They engage with Asian Paints. So you understand more in terms of what kind of content they consume. You
So you can
understand.
even build your persona. If
Yes.
I get it right, I mean, when you're trying to understand that, okay, if I'm going to sell, let's say, parenting courses, will I be able to target this target audience? And I mean, is this my target audience? And you could build your persona that these are the pages they go to, these are the places they hang out at. Excellent. I have an addition here for the audience. There is a fantastic free tool that HubSpot has created. So people who are trying to do this for the first time for building personas, where you could take insights from Facebook Insight and put it on HubSpot Persona Builder. So the tool is called HubSpot Persona Builder, and it's absolutely free. You could build like
Yeah.
a deep dive persona for your target audience. But I'll let you take it on from here, Pulkit. So if you have other points to add here.
Yes. So one more point which is very important, which is not exclusive to Facebook, but it's very interesting here is location. So you also get in terms of which locations or which cities you have the highest affinity for your product. So Bangalore, Chandigarh, Gorakhpur, Gurugram, you will have a better intensity for your product. So now one more thing is if you might have used Google Trends or Google Keyword Planner to understand the intent. So there is this one edge that Google has about all of this that a lot of people generally consider Google for this is Google gives you intent related searches. So for example, who are the users who are searching for book a yoga class online? So if a person is searching for that particular intent, you can reach out to them on Google. So, and you can see, okay, how, like out of every month, 100 people search for that. So that's how you understand what is your bottom level audience, as we discussed about the funnel, right? So people who are on the bottom level audience, you can reach out better with Google, but that is a very limited audience and there is a competition is really high. So you have to spend a lot of money to get conversions out of there. So best way why I recommend for all the people who are creating the course for the first time or universities, you can actually get the scale to actually from your first 100 customers or first 100 students to first 1,000 students much easier and more in a more cost-effective manner if you utilize the Facebook ads. Yeah.
Great. No, that's super helpful, Pulkit. I really appreciate you sharing this tool, and I think I would like to follow it on this conversation with a course, as I mentioned, because I think this is a deep science. It's new. A lot of people don't know how to do this, and if they get the right guidance, I have personally witnessed miracles. Literally, some of our content creators on Nourish platform have been able to go from 0 rupees in the first week to, let's say, crossing 2 to 3 lakhs within 3 to 4 weeks, and only through Facebook marketing. So I would say that for today, I can't go much deeper because of the paucity of time, but we would love to do a deep dive session in the format of a course where we can teach people who are our audiences more about this. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I would love for the opportunity to talk about this further with you. But I really appreciate the time that you took out today, Pulkit. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Kinnard. And this has been amazing. Like I loved the entire part of this entire experience. So thank you so much for having me here. And we'll definitely look forward to making a course with you on Facebook.
Thank you. Thanks, Pulkit. Thanks.
Thank you.